guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another cloth reading with this cloth that I got in honor of my dad, Karl Olson, who passed away in 2020. These readings I consider to be really, really special and generally very emotional for me, but he loved tractors, and his whole thing was he was going to get a bigger tractor when he got to heaven. So it really is endearing to do these readings, and I hope everybody enjoys them. I go back to these readings that I did, with the inspiration of my dad, and I just feel like, the messages really resonate with me because I knew him, and I was close with him. So obviously the messages are just very close, near and dear to my heart. So, but I hope you enjoy them. My dad gave the best advice ever. And to this day, nobody else that I have ever met can give that kind of advice. I met this man who reminded me of my dad, actually. One day, when I was getting something done, and I thought that, he was going to be able to give similar advice just because he reminded me so much of my dad. But when it came down to the hard stuff, he just didn't know what to say. He didn't have anything to offer. He didn't really know what he could offer. He just was kind of lost. And my dad never had a problem giving good advice. He always gave good advice. If someone asked him something, he knew exactly what it was going to be the answer. And if he didn't, he would figure it out. And it was just always reliable in that regard. And so I do these readings hopefully to inspire you guys. And hopefully you'll appreciate them as much as I do. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who's donated and everybody who's been supportive of my channel and this work. I do consider this work, and I'm very proud of the work that I do. So thank you to everybody for supporting it. And I am still offering private readings. If you'd like to book a reading, you can prepay through the links. I put those in the description, but also in the comments. It's $100 for 30 minutes, and then you'd email me to get scheduled. And yeah, I'm just going to jump in. One of the first messages, and this is actually interesting, I laid out the charms as well here, was this interesting one. I picked up this piece which kind of represented some kind of stop, or my dad had this whole thing, he always felt like it's not necessarily a red flag per se. It's more like my dad knew boundaries. My dad really understood okay, when to stop something, when not to push, when to really pull back. And there is something here about something stopping, but I feel like it's a huge blessing. I actually asked my guides about this before I started recording, because I was like, okay, what is this? Do people have to worry? All this stuff. It's nothing. It's nobody has to worry here about this. It's more just, about something that's actually coming to you from somebody who maybe didn't treat you right. Maybe it's an apology. Maybe it's some energy of finances, because my dad, on several occasions, there were a couple of people who didn't pay me for things, and my dad got in there and they paid me. He got really upset when I worked for this hotel once and they didn't pay me. And he got really upset about that. My dad was just very I don't know if it's the word square, but he had a certain way about approaching things, and he expected things to be done a certain way. And if they were not done a certain way, then he got really upset. So he expected people to treat him right and to be respectful of him. He expected people to treat me right and be respectful of me. So this to me is something coming through where somebody maybe didn't treat you right. And it's them coming through with either a big apology or some big money or some big thing that really changes the game for you, because It's my dad. I think of my dad as like a big kahuna, you know. He wanted to be kind of like a high roller, you know, and he made a lot of money, but he also made sure that he spent his money on things like going out to eat with the family and making sure that we took our vacations and, like, you know, making sure that everybody had a good time. And so I do feel like, though, that some things did come through in a big way. And it's a blessing. We got this bird here. To me, this is hope. I got this bird. I'm not sure if it was after, there was somebody in Omaha that passed, after I moved to Omaha, and he was very special, and I needed something to lift my spirits, and I got this. I don't know if I got it before he passed or after he passed. You know, that's the funny thing about the memory. You just don't remember stuff like that. But to me, it's a very blessed. Anything that comes through that's like big, like that, like to me, like a big apology, is very blessed. Now you might be making a big apology to somebody, or somebody might be making a big apology to you. I also feel like at this time, my dad is basically also saying to go easy. He always had this saying about going easy on stuff. So some of you might have been, I don't know, stirred up by the energies lately, okay? You know, you might have, you know, the fall always stirs things up. It gets to be very busy. The Virgo energy in September stirs everybody up. And by October, everybody's exhausted, you know, and when November comes, everybody's like, you know, still kind of, you know, has to get rewired again because of all the holidays, and it's just all this pressure. And so some of you may just need to chill and get really grounded. There's these three pieces about, to me, this is like, just getting, it's very earth energy, just getting grounded, and finding some balance, in your life. I also feel, you know, my dad had a way of fixing things, handling things, taking care of things. He would do it in a way that made things better, you know. And, you know, with this tractor here, to me, there's all this dirt here, and my guides were showing me something is going to get moved or shifted that has been a problem. Something is going to be fixed or solved or changed that's been a problem. That's what the message is. I also feel that, you know, some of you, like my dad had a thing about getting things done. So some of you are going to, and he was like regularly, like he had this routine, this weekend routine where he'd go get a haircut. And so some of you may be going and getting your haircut because, you know, the amethyst pieces are, you know, represent beauty. So you might be going and getting a haircut or going and getting something routinely done. That's kind of part of your routine, but like needs to get done. So getting shit done is what, you know, the message is. I see that. I also see that we have this, the Phoenix ring, the transformational element is showing up here. What do you want to say about that? Okay, so here's the interesting thing. You know, my dad did not like change. My dad was in business, I think, for like almost 50 years. Like, he wanted like things to be a certain way when he got home. And he needed the peace that came from things staying the same. So this is kind of an odd message, but for some of you, you may be avoiding some change. You might find peace at this time in keeping things stable or keeping things the same. You might have or want to examine some PTSD where, you know, you might not necessarily want any changes because it's disruptive, it feels unsafe, or it's disruptive to your your mindset. But there is a need to just kind of roll with this energy and jump through the hoops, you know? My dad also, though, it's very interesting. He needed also to have change. As much as he didn't like it, he also needed it to keep things going, to keep the energy moving, you know. And we have this, you know, deer jumping. And so it's like my dad was very good also at overcoming challenges and jumping through hoops. He fixed everything. I mean, he was the plumber, the electrician, I mean, the builder, the construction man. I mean, he did everything. So some of you might be, I want to say, in need of some change, or need of not necessarily some challenge, but like something to get you motivated to change your life in some regard. Because if left to your own devices, most likely you will keep everything the same. And, you know, my guides are also showing me myself here before I lost housing last December, is that I was very stuck on that apartment. That was my home. You know, I had been in that apartment for 3 years, and I was looking for different places to live at different points in time, but I didn't really want to make the leap. There's going to be something here that you might have to make a leap on where you're not ready, but it's going to be better for you in the end. As much as I do not like to say that it was better for me in the end, me leaping, because literally I leapt out of an airplane without a parachute when I lost my apartment. So it's one of those things where it's kind of probably going to be bittersweet, and you might not be ready, but it'll be better for you in the end. I have to leave off here, guys. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. I've gone over in my recording. I'm surprised the camera has continued as long as it has. I send everybody big hugs. Big kisses. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye, guys.